Part 30. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 291. Qin Yan's words suggest another meaning, that is, she is not easy to fool. Yang Cixi yawned, suddenly I feel sleepy. Go to sleep. Okay. Qin Yanzi stretched out his long arm and pulled down the light switch. The room fell into darkness and silence. Qin Yanzi closed his eyes to rest. When he opened them again, it was already dawn and the clock pointed to 7 o'clock. He is still there. Very nice. SISI. It's the kitchen, ACI, breakfast is ready, hurry up and clean it up for dinner. Qin Yanzi responded. Yang Cixi laid out the food and waited for him. About 5 minutes later, Qin Yanzi walked to her side and pulled up a chair and sat down. What time did you get up? You made so many fried dumplings. Yang Cixi, I bought it at 6:30. Now that she has savings, she won't work all morning just to save 2 or 3 cents. If you have that time, you might as well think about selling shampoo. Next time you ask me to buy it, Qin Yanzi said. Okay. Yang Cixi ate the fried dumplings and had just bitten into half of them. There was a knock on the door outside. SISI, it's me, your brother. Yang Cixi clenched her fists and opened the door. Didn't I make it clear enough yesterday? Are you really not afraid of being beaten? Shen Zhengrong took a step back and put a safe distance away from her. I have something to tell you. Yan Yi fell downhill while climbing yesterday and injured her legs and ribs. She was unconscious all night. She woke up early in the morning and said that you pushed her. Yang Cixi did not intend to waste time trying to mediate with Shen Zhengrong, so she recounted the incident and said, whether you believe it or not, what I said is the truth. Why don't you call a doctor for help? Qin Yanzi sneered coldly. If she hadn't harmed SISI, she wouldn't have fallen. That was her retribution in this world. She deserves the blame, as well as your sister-in-law. She caused a woman in her prime to end her life hastily and made SISI lonely. What qualifications do you have to ask Cixi for help? Shen Zhengrong was stunned and speechless. He paused and said, Cixi, if things are as you said, I hope you will come with me and confront Xiaoi face to face, otherwise I will not give up. Yang Cixi smiled angrily. She still won't give up? Their whole family couldn't stand that woman's troubles. Okay, I'll go with you, but you have to wait until I finish eating. Yang Cixi locked the person outside. Shen Zhengrong, he said as if he was remembering, Cixi, I'm not asking you why you didn't call the doctor because of my preference for my sister-in-law. I was worried that my sister-in-law would be angry with you and cause trouble for you. At this time, someone opened the door opposite. He immediately shut up. Aunt Sun had met Shen Zhengrong, and now she heard him calling Cixi, a relative of Cixi's family. Is she at home? I guess not here, I'll wait. Then wait a moment. Aunt Sun said hello and left. Hey. Shen Zhengrong waited for nearly half an hour, but no one came out. There was a faint humming sound inside. What for? Fight? He put his ear against the door panel, ready to listen carefully. The door is opened at this time. Yang Cixi said, what are you doing? Eavesdropping? No, no. Shen Zhengrong stretched his head and looked in. Won't you follow the banquet? Qin Yanzi is the most talkative and gloomy person. With him by Sic's side, my sister-in-law can be more cautious. Why do you want to follow? Yang Cixi closed the door and went straight downstairs. Qin Yanzi was originally going to follow. But he vomited just after eating, his face was very bad, and he looked frighteningly sick. She was going to stay with him at home. He definitely disagrees. He ran into the guest room and locked the door. She couldn't open it no matter how hard she knocked, and even scolded her to leave him alone. So angry. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 292. Ying Sisi and Shen Zhengrong came to the hospital and went to the ward where Yanyi was. There was a circle of people around the hospital bed. Yanyi's legs were hung up, and her body was wrapped tightly. Her nose and face were bruised and swollen from the fall. When she saw her, she pointed at her and spoke as if she had candy in her mouth. Lily still dare not to do anything. Everyone's eyes turned to Ying Sisi in unison. "Sisi," Mr. Shen said, "you are here." "Xiao Yi said you pushed her down the slope." "I don't believe it." "Please explain it to your sister-in-law." Shen Ru's eyes seemed to be quenched with poison. She rushed forward and raised her hand to slap Sisi. Ying Sisi has suffered the opponent's losses and has been prepared for it. She raised her hand to block the opponent's arm and pushed him away. "If you want to hit me, there is no way." She faced Yanyi and said righteously, "Why don't I dare to come? Tell everyone, you are the one who said I pushed you. You dare to swear? If you tell a lie, the sky will strike and you will be doomed, and your mother will die without a burial place." As soon as she spoke, Yanyi couldn't resist it at all. You. What am I? If you tell lies, you will be reincarnated as a pig in your next life and fall into my hands, and I will kill you with my own hands. That's enough. The middle-aged man beside the hospital bed was furious. "It's a shame that you can come up with such a vicious curse. Why are you so vicious? My daughter is still young, and there is something wrong with her. As a sister, you can educate her. Why curse her? Who is her sister? To me, she is an attempted murderer. If I were pushed down such a steep slope, I would be the one lying here now. Who will make the decision for me then? Grandpa Shen, do you decide for me?" "I will make the decision for you," Mr. Shen replied without hesitation. "Now that the matter is clear, can you make the decision for me? Where is Uncle Shen? He said he would compensate me, but why do people hide when something happens?" Before Ying Sisi could finish her words, the ward door was pushed open with great force. Shen Yuxian appeared at the door. After he severed the relationship with Shen Ru, he stopped contacting everyone. He also just found out that Yanyi was injured and it was related to Sic's matter. He walked to Ying Sisi in 3 steps and 2 steps at a time, hiding the person behind him. "Dad, why are you bothering Sisi behind your back?" Mr. Shen explained the whole story. "Xiao Yi vowed to push her forward, and I will always find out the situation before making a judgment. Now that it's been found out, what do you plan to do with it?" Ying Sisi recovered from her daze, walked to Shen Yuxian's side, and interjected, "Your sister slapped me in the face the first time she met me. This time she wants to slap her again. And her man said that as a sister, even if there is something wrong with his daughter, I should not kill her. I obviously didn't do anything, and it was okay that she pushed me to die. I reacted quickly, otherwise it would be time to accompany her mother as she wished." Shen Yu's weather was like frost, and he was settling accounts one by one. "Shen Ru, what do you have to say?" I'm angry too. Xiaoi broke her leg and 2 ribs. She lay at the bottom of the for several hours before being discovered. If Sisi had called for help in time, she wouldn't have suffered so much. Shen Ru looked at Yanyi and wiped away tears in distress. "So Xiaoi deserves it." Shen Yuxian raised his hand and slapped Shen Ru in the face. "You owe Sisi." Shen Ru covered her face and didn't come back to her senses for a long time. Shen Yuxian picked up Yan's father's collar. "It's the father's fault that the son doesn't teach. Your daughter doesn't know right from wrong and calls black things white. Then I will educate her father." Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 293. Shen Yuxian showed no mercy. Yan's father was instantly enveloped in boundless fear and his cry for help was weak. No one in the ward dared to come forward and stood still watching Shen Yuxian teach others. Yan Yi was so frightened that he couldn't make a sound. Shen Ru rushed to help but was blocked by Ying Sisi. Are you going to stab your brother in the back again? Shen Ru paused and turned to Mr. Shen for help with a pale face. Dad, hurry up and ask the third brother to stop. Mr. Shen looked at Yan's father who was almost limp and couldn't bear it. You. Grandpa Shen, didn't you say you would uphold justice for me? Now the truth is revealed. Uncle Shen punished him for not distinguishing right from wrong. Shouldn't you punish her for asking me to be wronged again and again? Ying Sisi pointed at Yan's father. Yan Li and Shen are you? And added, or are you just saying nothing? You just say it, but you actually prefer your own daughter. Mr. Shen was in a dilemma and vaguely regretted letting her come. He imagined that when she got here and faced the whole family, she would be eager to defend herself and would be at a loss. He was ready to comfort her at this time. With care, she will naturally recognize him. Who would have known that she walked in the door so boldly and proudly, and with just a few words, Yan Yi was helpless to resist. What a mistake. He said bravely, you are my granddaughter, I will definitely prefer you. I don't want your bias, I just need you to handle this matter fairly and fairly. Ying Sisi's logic is clear and organized. Mr. Shen was speechless. After hesitating for a while, he said, Xiao are you, Yan Li has gone too far. Xiao Yi is his heartthrob, and Sisi is also Yu Tian's treasure. You can't just pick on Yu Tian's family, can you? Why are you here? Don't you want to trick the boss and the second child? Shen's daughter-in-law said, if anyone tries to trick me into leaving my husband and leaving my daughter alone for 20 years, I will never let her go. Shen's second daughter-in-law nodded in agreement. She knew clearly that her third brother really had a partner, so she put the photo away and said it was for his own good. For his own good, witness him being single for 20 years? It is clearly pure bad. Like my mother-in-law, she pretends to be kind and amiable in front of others, but is mean and vicious behind her back. It's too bad that the men in the family can't see through it at all, and they think the old woman is a good person. It was so difficult for Yuxian. He wrote and sent photos back. It must have been to let the old woman arrange the marriage with Sic's mother. He didn't expect that something would go wrong for him later, and his wife and children would be separated by his mother and sister. Shen Ru put the blame on Mrs. Shen, my mother asked me to do this. Mr. Shen couldn't see anyone talking to Mrs. Shen, so he said angrily, you girl, you are talking nonsense. How many years has it been since your mother died? Just pretend that she asked you to hide the photos before she was alive. Why didn't you take them out later? Shen's second daughter-in-law interjected, Xiru, don't say that your mother left you a last word. 2 days before she passed away, your sister-in-law and I stayed close to her. Ah, Yan Yi finally found her voice and screamed, her eyelids rolled up and she fainted. Yan Li trembled when he heard the noise. He felt a heat all over his body and fainted. Shen Ru was worried that she could not reconcile the situation, so she rushed out of the ward and shouted for help when her husband and daughter fainted. Shen Yuxian stopped without hesitation, regardless of whether Yan Li knew he was really fainting, and warned, if you dare to bully Sisi behind my back again, you will not be able to eat and walk away. He passed by Mr. Shen and glanced at him, without saying hello, he took Ying Sisi's wrist and pulled her out. Ying Sisi followed him for a while, then twisted her wrist and withdrew her hand. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 294. Shen Yuxian stopped, what's wrong? Men and women are not intimate with each other. Shen Yuxian, I am your father. Ying Sisi lowered her eyelashes, you have never raised me. Shen Yuxian was heartbroken. He wanted to raise her so much. If he had not forgotten Qian, he would have taken her with her since she was a baby. He and Qian would not have other children. They only loved her. Teach her how to read and write. Let her learn to write about mom and dad right away. Rather than like now, she was unwilling to even see him or say more than 2 words to him. He said with difficulty, "Aren't you going to give me a chance to make up for it? Material compensation? I don't want it, because I can get it on my own. You can't make up for it emotionally. I'm past the age where I need you, so let's just say goodbye." Ying Sisi left. Shen Yuxian stared at her back and pinched his eyebrows, still not recognizing him. Then he will wait. You won't see ghosts, right? When she reached the end of the road, she parked the car on the side of the road, looking into the distance. I just don't know if she will be his daughter in the next life. Where did the child come from in the wilderness? Don't recognize it for the rest of your life, wait until the next life. She was afraid and ran away on her bicycle. She had resentment, hatred, and distress toward him. A gust of wind blew by, and the wheat seemed to come alive, creating waves of wheat. Suddenly there was a cry in my ears. Ying Sisi rejected Shen Yuxian and felt very uncomfortable. If you don't recognize it for a day, wait for a day. A child? In order to relieve her low mood, she rode towards the suburbs. As there were fewer and fewer houses on both sides of the road, her view became wider and wider. After a while, he turned around and returned. The old lady said that if there were girls in the village who didn't want them, they would throw them to the mountains to feed the wolves. If the sound just now was that of a child crying, when she leaves, even if there are no wild animals, there will be wild dogs, right? The temperature drops at night. How cold will the child be? She returned to where she left, parked the car again, and listened carefully. After a long time, the cry came again. She followed the direction and came to a haystack. She circled around the haystack, but there was no child. Is it in the haystack? She got in and felt around. Palms of hands tingle. He retracted his hand and kicked his foot based on his feeling. A big hedgehog rolled out of the haystack. The hedgehog rolled out and cried. Ying Sisi got out of the haystack and said, "Hedgehog." She kicked it back again, and the hedgehog shrank into a ball and rolled into the haystack. Incredibly cute. Her gloomy mood instantly improved. Go home. Look for ACI. I don't know if he feels better. She hurried home and walked towards the guest room as soon as she entered the house. ACI, are you feeling better? Ying Sisi called his name and showed concern for him. The door is open and the room is empty. The books on the table were in a mess. 2 books fell to the ground. The pen on the table was missing its cap and the tip was broken. What about people? Why are you making such a mess on the table? While packing up her books, she imagined where Qin Yanci would go. I found the word SISI written crookedly on the table. Perplexed and puzzled. Even if you want to carve her name on the table, you shouldn't use a pen, right? How much waste? Ying Sisi tidied the table and went out to buy a new pen for him. After choosing for a long time, I fell in love with a pen with a gold cap. How much? She asked. 3 pieces. Ying Sisi always feels that as a writing tool, pens should not be sold at a high price. Can it be cheaper? The pens we have here are the best in the entire city. Whether you like to buy them or not, we will not lose you as a customer. The salesperson's attitude was arrogant. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 295. Chapter 295 Recovery. Ying Sisi had to pay and walk out of the mall. The more she thought about it, the more frustrated she became. It costs 3 yuan to buy a pen, but you don't get the respect of the salesperson. What's this? Doing business in private is like a rat crossing the street, spending openly and with the same caution. Having no background or connections, should I be bullied? She returned home depressed. As soon as she entered the door, she saw Qin Yancy standing in front of the TV cabinet gloomily, staring at the photo frame in which she had drawn her portrait. She was not wearing her glasses anymore. "ACI, where have you been? I just came back and I didn't see you." Qin Yancy returned to his usual calmness. "I went back to the courtyard when it was time to walk quickly last time." He endured the discomfort and held onto the railing at the head of the bed to make it past midnight. Later, he lost consciousness and woke up again. It was already 1:30 in the afternoon on the 6th. In other words, his behavior caused the other party's time to increase by 12 hours. "I went back to the courtyard to find the other party's message. After reading it, I came home again and found the painting on the TV cabinet. I was so angry." The man went so far as to look at peach blossoms with his wife behind his back. "Daughter-in-law, I also want to see peach blossoms tomorrow." Ying Sisi. It was still Sisi in the morning, but now she has a wife again? "Didn't I just watch peach blossom yesterday? Want it too? Hold your son's hand and grow old together with him." Ying Sisi. Okay, he likes to watch, so she will accompany him. She has nothing to do at home anyway. Okay, she took out a pen. "I saw that the tip of your pen was broken, so I went out to buy it for you. I got a new one, try it and see if you like it." More Qin Yancy corrected his wording. Also added a sentence at the end. Ying Sisi looked at the period at the end of the sentence and lowered his eyes slightly. Did his writing habits change freely? After Qin Yancy received the gift, a smile appeared on his stern face. Yes, he filled up the ink with his pen and wrote the 3 words Ying Sisi in the notebook. "The pen is very easy to use," Qin Yancy said. "As long as it's easy to use." Ying Sisi mentioned the attitude of the salesperson selling pens. "I don't care if he speaks directly. The key is the posture, with the chin raised and the eyes squinting. It's like he is some great person." Qin Yancy was used to it. Aren't all salespersons like that? If you want the patience of that kind of person, you have to show your gold bracelet. "I don't want to show off my wealth." Ying Sisi didn't bother to show off in her words, but not in her actions. Vague. Qin Yancy's lips curled up. "Are you going back to the courtyard for dinner tonight?" He had something to ask Lao Qin, so he just went to find the other party. The other party was in a meeting and had no time to see him, so he could only wait for him to get off work. "Well, I haven't been back for several days." Ying Sisi planned to go back to the courtyard last weekend. Qin Yancy disagreed and gave her various excuses. Now he takes the initiative to ask her to come back. I really can't figure him out. At this time, Qin Yancy noticed the words engraved on the table. Did the man feel the same discomfort when he left? Write his wife's name on the table. Shameless. "I was just irritated, so I was scribbling on the table." He couldn't help but explain. "Are you feeling better now?" "Much better." There was a knock on the door. Ying Sisi was close to the door, so she walked over and opened the door. "It's the old man downstairs. Girl, I'm going back to my hometown soon. You must remember to collect my medicinal materials." "Okay," Ying Sisi responded readily. She ran into the kitchen and took out a large can of dried apricots. "This is for you to eat on the way." Qin Yancy brought half a bag of dried apricots last time. She was worried about getting damp in the bag, so she bought some large glass jars, which was convenient for her. A favor. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 296. Give it to me. The old man was flattered and said, "I'm interested." "You're welcome." Ying Sisi sent him downstairs. The old man's daughter-in-law, Sister Dai, was waiting for him. Sister Di felt a little embarrassed when her eyes met with Ceci's. She thought those copper coins were antiques, but when she asked her close colleagues, they turned out to be worthless. If she had known that she should have asked the old man to send Ceci off, there would be no harm in being closer to the Chin family. She said, "Dad said that thanks to you these 2 days, he has not been hungry. My family is making meat dumplings tonight, come and eat them. Is your kitchen ready for use? It's being repaired, it will take a few days. I'll prepare it in the cafeteria and bring it back to eat." Ying Ceci, my partner and I are going back to my husband's house today, so you don't have to worry. Then next time Sister Di sincerely invited. Okay, Ying Ceci simply agreed, and then said, "Uncle, I will send it here. Goodbye." Hey, the old man said, "Girl, I see you don't look too good. The weather has been hot and cold recently. Please pay attention. If there are dandelions at home, make tea and drink them to clear away the toxins. It will take 2 days. Dad, it's okay. I won't tell you how to treat people in the countryside. This is the city, not a place where you practice medicine." Ceci's face is white and rosy. "What's wrong?" Sister Di looked down on the village. The doctor was quite disgusted with his behavior. Someone called her from behind. After the people left, she prepared to go upstairs. The old man's face turned red and his neck was thick with anger. He didn't reply, lowered his head and walked away. Ying Ceci saw this in her eyes and silently felt sorry for the uncle. "From the Qin family, someone named Feng Shuangzi is looking for you outside, saying that you are her wife's sister." "Yes," Ying Ceci admitted and walked directly to the gate. Feng Shuangzi came up to us. "Sister, how's my work going?" Ying Ceci pretended to be puzzled. "Don't you want to quit?" "Who said I'm quitting?" "Yue said it. She came here specifically to tell me about it, and she even quarreled with me about it." Feng Shuangzi's chest was on fire. That bitch, he had been unlucky for 8 lifetimes when he met her. He failed more than he succeeded and failed. I took the initiative to find him this morning and said that I had figured it out and supported his decision. If I supported him, why did I stop him secretly? Sister, maybe Yue doesn't want to trouble you. But I really feel for Yue. She didn't have a good life after marrying me. I want to give her a good life." Ying Ceci suddenly felt that what he said was quite good. "Really? That's good. You go back to Yue's place first, and I'll ask someone to inform you tomorrow." "Hey, that's good." Feng Shuangzi left happily. Back to Li's house. Pushing the door of Li Yue's room, it couldn't be pushed, so he knocked. "Yue, why are you keeping the door closed? Why does it smell like paper ash?" He sniffed with his nose and was sure that Li Yue was burning something. "You are in the house, what to burn?" Li Yue said to the door in a panic, "No, it's nothing. She just received an anonymous letter. It says that she knew about her rebirth, and also said that she married Feng Shuangzi to live a good life. Now that she has married Feng Shuangzi as she wished, she should live a peaceful life and quietly wait for Feng Shuangzi to become a talented person, instead of just causing trouble. Except for Qin Yanci, she has not provoked anyone." She suspected that the letter was written by Qin Yanci, but she also felt that Qin Yanci could not know about her rebirth unless he was also reborn. If he was also reborn, why would he marry Ying Ceci? Ying Ceci couldn't have children, so she and Feng Shuangzi had been husband and wife for the rest of their lives. Furthermore, the handwriting is different from the two Qin Yanci. So who is it? It can't be Ying Ceci, right? Ying Ceci abandoned her adoptive father like a pair of worn-out shoes after she recognized her biological father, who was rich. How could someone who despised poverty and loved the rich be willing to give up Feng Shuangzi, the richest man? Please vote. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 297. Li Yue, Feng Shuangzi was extremely angry. Hurry up and open the door for me. Here you are, what are you in a hurry for? Li Wei made sure that the letter was completely burned to ashes and pulled the door lock from the inside. Why are you so upset? Isn't it because of you? I originally agreed with the female Rakshasa about work, but when I went to ask her today, she said that you were quarreling with her in private. Feng Shuangzi accused Li Wei of doing one thing openly and another secretly. Li Wei felt cold in her heart. Damn it, Ying Sisi, for fear that their husband and wife would be harmonious, right? Shuangzi, you misunderstood me. I asked Ying Sisi to arrange a job for you with less work and more money. We quarreled because she didn't agree. Stop fooling me. Feng Shuangzi had already lost confidence in Li Wei. If it weren't for the fact that she had a job and could subsidize him, he would have kicked her out long ago. Prodigal bitch. Whatever you can't do, the best is to cause trouble. You are the head of the family, how dare I fool you? Li Wei said softly, leaning into Feng Shuangzi's arms and taking the initiative to give. Fear flashed in Feng Shuangzi's eyes, and he asked him every now and then, thinking he was an old scalper. How indecent is it to be seen in broad daylight? I'm a little hungry, please cook me some food. Hey, I'll go get it right now. In order to please Feng Shuangzi, Li Wei responded to every request and hurriedly entered the kitchen. While choosing vegetables, he scolded Ying Sisi for being nosy. After Ying Sisi separated from Feng Shuangzi, she discussed with Qin Yanxi and asked Qin Yanjun to arrange work for Feng Shuangzi. Qin Yanxi frowned, let Lao Qin arrange work for someone named Feng. Have you forgotten, Qianer promised? Have you lost your memory again? Qin Yanxi lowered his eyes to cover up his slightly twinkling eyes. The man mentioned many things, and even Li Wei might be someone who has experienced the future. But not this one. I remember it. I'll tell Lao Qin later. Ying Sisi warned, it must be someone who is not very decent, a little tired, but has a high salary. Qin Yanxi thought to himself that it was time for a dishonorable job with high wages to be dignified. It is very difficult to deal with the request of the daughter-in-law. Ignore it and let Lao Qin find a way. Well, okay. Ying Sisi smiled brightly, don't forget it, it's best to arrange it tomorrow. Qin Yanxi was jealous and his face was cold. Why was he so attentive to Feng Shuangzi? Ying Sisi took out 2 movie tickets and waved them in front of his eyes. Want to watch a movie? When I was going upstairs just now, I met the son of the old man downstairs directing the workers to carry furniture upstairs. He said that someone gave him 2 movie tickets. He and his wife didn't have time, so they sent it to me. Qin Yanxi knew something about what was going on downstairs from the message. He took the movie ticket and looked at the time. The movie viewing time was between 2:30 and 5:30. Others didn't know his working hours. He probably bought it specially. Give me theirs. Okay, I'll just go back to the courtyard after watching this. Ying Sisi also planned the same. The two of them went to the cinema to watch the movie and walked along the road towards the courtyard. On the way, I passed by the hospital where Yan Yi was staying. I had a sudden flash in my eyes. I recalled my experience in the morning and couldn't help but tell Qin Yanxi. Later, Uncle Shen appeared and vented my anger. Qin Yanxi regretted his behavior more and more. Not only did he lose half a day, but he also caused trouble when she needed him most. Let her face the Shen family alone. He should vent his anger for you. If it were me, I would ask him for anything. Ying Sisi couldn't do it, and suddenly a gust of wind blew, and she sneezed 3 times in a row. Why do I feel a little cold? She suddenly felt something bad. Every time before she fell ill, she would feel cold from the inside out. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 298. I'll give you my coat. Qin Yanxi stopped the car and took off his coat. You are not allowed to take off your clothes. What if you get sick too? Who will take care of me? Ying Sisi remembered the old man's instructions to her and turned the car around. ACI, there is a Chinese medicine shop in the hospital in front. I am going to buy some dandelion. If you drink well. She asked her uncle to readjust the formula of shampoo to save materials. If there is a chance to sell it in the future, we cannot keep digging for Polygonum multiflorum in the mountains. After digging, where will the fellow villagers find it? Qin Yanxi had no choice but to put on her coat and accompany her to the hospital to buy dandelions. When he got it, Qin Yanxi said, "There are such things everywhere in the fields, how dare you ask for 15 cents for such a small box? It costs money to pick," and its sun-dried Ying Sisi's mind flashed, and she seemed to have discovered another business opportunity. The medicinal materials sold in the city are expensive, which shows that there are not many purchase channels. If she buys medicinal materials and sells them to drug stores, she will definitely make a fortune. Let's wait until she has settled the matter of shampoo, and then come to the matter of medicinal materials. She smiled and said, "ACI, thank you." "Why are you thanking me?" Qin Yanxi said unhappily, "I've seen you outside." Ying Sisi said happily, "I will make your pajamas tomorrow night." Qin Yanxi silently repeated, "Pajamas." That asked her to do it, right? The other party will not touch any of the clothes he has worn or the toiletries he has used. Why did he touch his target? Getting interested when seeing color. Shameless. "Daughter-in-law, I suddenly don't want those pajamas anymore, throw them away," Qin Yanxi said. Ying Sisi, "No money required. It's such a pity to throw away such good materials." She ignored him and walked out quickly. Qin Yanxi followed closely behind him and was about to leave the gate. He met Shen Ruiying. Ying Sisi pretended not to have seen it and just skipped it. Qin Yanxi glared at him. "Shen, are you secretly cursed? Two uneducated things." Especially Ying Sisi, her family's IOI has less than 3 months to take the college entrance examination, and now is a critical period of review. It is rare to go out to relax, so she is like this. As a mother, you can never sit back and wait and see. The courtyard is brightly lit. Mother Qin looked at the empty courtyard to her left and the hour hand pointing to 6 o'clock on her right. "Old Qin, are you sure the banquet will come today? He told me he would come back." Qin Yanjun finished speaking. There was movement in the yard. He raised his eyes, with a smile on his face, and waved to the two of them, "Banquet farewell, Sisi, it's time to eat." "Here we come." Ying Sisi walked into the house first. "What day is it today? The food is so rich, there are fish and meat, as well as her favorite oily gluten." Lu Yuechun rolled his eyes. "I didn't know you were coming to eat. The children in your eldest brother's family are all growing and need nutrition. They always have to eat like this twice a week. It is not a formal day." "Si, sit down quickly," Mother Qin said. Lu Yuechun thought, "How old is my child? How much can you eat? You obviously eat a lot yourself, so how can you blame the children? If you can afford it, don't eat it. Let my children eat it." Hey, after Ying Sisi washed her hands and sat down, Lu Yuechun followed her to whichever plate she put her chopsticks on. When Ying Sisi looked at her, she smiled and said, "Si, we both have the same taste." Ying Sisi knew what Lu Yuechun was thinking and thought she was eating meat, so she changed to vegetarian dishes. Lu Yuechun finally stopped following the chopsticks. The 2 legs of a chicken were given to the second and third chickens, and the wings were given to the eldest brother. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 299. Qin Yanxi stood up and clamped the remaining wing root. "Daughter-in-law, you are the youngest in our family, this is for you." Ying Sisi covered her mouth and smiled. Yeah. I've never seen you bring me any food. Chin's mother curled her lips. Whose daughter-in-law will be taken care of? Dad has no discernment. What do you think I should do? Don't you want to see me treating Sisi well? Qin Yancy accused the two of them in one sentence. Mother of Qin, dot. Father of Qin, dot. Qin Yancy ignored the embarrassment between the two of them and made a special trip to put meat in Ying Sisi's bowl. Eat more. Ying Sisi felt warm in her heart. With his tough attitude, who in the family would dare to make her uncomfortable? Okay, that's enough. Lu Yuechun was so angry. She put her arm against Qin Jin, gesturing for him to say a few words. Qin Jin was frightened by Qin Yancy's rebuke and did not dare to interrupt. He glared at Lu Yuechun and continued eating. Mother Qin's reaction was long, and she argued at this moment, I wish you and your wife could live in harmony, but how could I not see you being kind to Sisi? What nonsense can you say? I just lament that no one hurts me. Qin Yancy, no one will hurt you when you climb the mountain. Your whole body will hurt after climbing. Mother of Qin, dot. Father of Qin scolded, no big one, no small one, it's no use hurting this boy, he's a wolf with white eyes. How come when I was with Sisi, I didn't learn any of her gentleness? The scene fell into a stagnant state. To ease the atmosphere, Ying Sisi interrupted, Mom, does your colleague still want my shampoo? $2 a can, right? Yeah, Ying Sisi nodded. Give me 2 cans, where did you buy them from? When I run out, I'll buy them myself. Ying Sisi hesitated for a second, you can't buy it from the black market. You kid is too courageous, does your dad know? Qin's mother pointed at Shen Yushan. Ying Sisi thought she was talking about Qin's father, I didn't tell him. Qin's mother decided to talk to Shen Yushan privately. It was against the rules to go shopping. If she was caught one day, she would not go fishing. It would be too embarrassing. It won't happen next time. Oh, Ying Sisi agreed. But she was thinking in her heart that there was only 1 can left at home, so she had to get new ones quickly. After a meal, Ying Sisi helped clean up, and when she came out of the kitchen, Qin Yancy was already in the wing. Daughter-in-law, your tea is ready. Wow, you're so kind. Ying Sisi picked up the teacup and drank it in one gulp. The taste was indescribable. It might as well be eaten boiled and dipped in chili sauce, but she didn't know if it would have any medicinal effect. Qin Yan said, Old Qin said that the wages are not decent and the wages are high. The only work is to remove excrement. The monthly salary is about 120, which is higher than that of the workers. This is a letter of introduction written by Lao Qin. Please give it to Feng Yes, let him take it and report to our Dongcheng District City Appearance Management Office and go to work immediately. Ying Sisi was very satisfied, so she aimed at his face and kissed him 5 times on each side. Qin Yancy's smile almost overflowed, and then he turned coldly, why are you so nice to Feng Shuangzi? This kind of job is something that ordinary people can't get. Ying Sisi said seriously, who treated him well? I have to do it for Li Yuwei's sake. After all, she was my sister. Qin Yancy finally understood her intention. According to the letter left by the bastard, Li Yuwei may have married Feng Shuangzi because he was a powerful person in the future. If Feng Shuangzi did the job of digging out excrement, Li Yuwei is arrogant, and she will definitely not be able to accept it. It can cause a quarrel at the least, or affect the relationship at the worst. This is the result Sisi wants. Daughter-in-law, you are not happy to see Li Yuwei. I will clean up and arrange the work for you. It will not be worth the loss, he said. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 300. Don't do it. Ying Sisi was very worried about him using violence. His first move is not like her, and he only stops at the beginning. The mental torture is 10 times worse than the physical pain, she added. Your body is injured and you can rest. I am mentally injured and have trouble sleeping and eating. In the bedroom of the main house. Lu Yuechun paid attention to the side room through the window. Yancy I just left this morning. He came back once at noon and again in the evening. He just entered Dad's study. I don't know what they were talking about. It was mysterious. This is his home. Isn't it normal to go home? We can't control what we talk about. Qin Jin was almost numb. Now, my parents are extremely partial to this younger brother. No matter how you say the banquet, they will not be angry. At most, a few gentle scoldings are useless. If I had known earlier, I should have gone to the farm by myself. He is a college student. It is impossible for him to farm there, right? It is not impossible to gain seniority over there and be directly promoted to your current position when you come back. Now it's good, the banquet is holding him back at every turn with regard to going to the countryside for him. Lu Yuechun lowered his voice and said, you said that Sisi was shopping in the black market. If he was reported, would it affect Yancy's ability to go to college? How does it affect my father? Besides, Sisi is backed by the Shen family, so what's the big deal about going to the black market? Lu Yuechun was indignant. Ordinary people visit the black market and sneak around. Yang Sisi can do whatever she wants just because she has a powerful father. It is too unfair to the general public. How can there be absolute fairness in the world? It is already very good that ordinary people can get relative fairness. Don't always focus on SISI and the banquet. SISI is not a fuel-efficient lamp. She comes from a rural area. You see, she coaxed her out of the banquet, and no one else was in her eyes. She can catch you off guard before she even gets to know the Shen family. If you admit it in the future, how can you still be fooling around? Qin Jin saw through Lu Yuechun's thoughts at this moment and warned. Lu Yuechun was unwilling to give in. How can you be bright when you are born with beauty? Mother-in-law had Qin and Jin, and even planned a Qin banquet. The names are better than those of Qin and Jin. Banquet speech. Speech at the banquet. They had long had high hopes for Qin Yancy. If they become powerful in the future, how can they have a place as husband and wife in the family? She cannot sit still and wait for death. She waited for Qin Jin and the child to fall asleep, then took the incense and carefully came to the door of the wing, lit it and stuffed it in through the crack in the door. The morning sunlight passes through the window and falls to the ground. Yang Sisi opened her eyes and had a headache. Seeing Qin Yancy still sleeping, she pushed him. "ACI, I don't feel well." Qin Yancy opened his eyes. "Me too, I have a severe headache." "Yang Sisi, you won't be infected by me, right?" "But my nose is stuffy, it doesn't look like a cold." After a slight sniff, there was a sweet fragrance in the air. She never wore perfume. Where did the smell come from? "ACI, do you smell the fragrance in the house?" Qin Yancy took a deep breath. "It smells fragrant, and my brain feels like being pricked by needles. We didn't attract thieves last night, right? When I lived at Li Yue's house, I heard from my neighbors that some thieves came into the house and stole things. In order not to be discovered, they would feed others. Let me look at my parents." Yang Sisi got out of bed, quickly put on her clothes and informed her parents-in-law. Qin Yancy left to check the doors, windows, and locks. There were no signs of prying. He looked around and found a small piece of unburned incense behind the door. "This is the flavor." Yang Sisi passed by the kitchen and saw Qin's mother and aunt preparing breakfast. He stopped and said, "Mom, good morning. There must have been a thief in our house last night. Are you missing anything in your room? Please vote."